What up, everybody? It's your boy Heems, and we are back with another podcast. To everybody, I hope you guys are having a great day, a good morning. Hope everybody's getting their breakfast, everybody's ready to get their head into the game. Make sure you do your prayers, meditate, clear your mind as you get through today. And everybody, just as always, remember to protect yourself and be safe and remain healthy. So guys, I'm actually going to pick it back up with part 2 discussion on The Last of Us. Now, full disclosure, this is a spoiler, so to the fan of hearts or to anybody, if you haven't played this game yet, go ahead and turn this podcast off. But of course, though, I appreciate it if you stick around anyway. But guys, we're about to go ahead and get into it. So guys, I literally just finished The Last of Us. And the game itself, by far, to me, was a huge masterpiece. From the very beginning, a lot of people thought, which was very controversial, you actually started the game as playing as Abby. And, you're trying to get to know this character. You're like, okay, where are they going with this? Who's this person? Is Abby, going to join the group or whatever? And it absorbs you into the story. You're checking out these new characters. You're seeing what they're all about. They're all trying to look for something. Then after that, it switches up back to Ellie. You get to see her. You get to see what she's been through. And you could see where, obviously, it was some kind of issue between her and Joel that they didn't discuss at the moment in time. But you already get to, get into her character, see her romance. And then after that, it picks right back up on Abby. Abby's running. She's running from the herd. And then before you know it, she bumps into Joel and Tommy. They all are running. They're trying to survive, save their life. She jumps on the back of the horse. They take her, or she guides them to the base. And then right then and there, the most tragic, and of course, what everybody's been torn about, even quit the game, said they're not going to do the streams no more, was that Joel got set up or he was killed. It was crazy how it all started, because I know that they were actually, when you look later in the game, the group Abby was with, they was already going to that area to see exactly who was there and to see if they can actually find Joel. But to bump into him at that exact moment in time, that was like, it was just coincidence. But they sat there, they blew off his leg, tourniqueted, and then just proceeded to literally beat the living crap out of him. Ellie gets the message that Joel's in trouble. She goes and finds him, only to find that he's pretty much beaten to death and is killed right in front of her. So she's on this warpath, trying to remember everybody that was in that room, trying to kill and take apart anybody and everybody that was involved. She wanted, to get revenge for Joel. And then I like what they did as far as with the story, because as you're playing as her, you're going through different flashbacks of her time, and it actually breaks down is so many different layers as far as with the game, to why, Ellie is where she's at, to why Ellie is mad at Joel, to what made Abby, go on the full rant that she did, or, manhunt her on Joel. And they even went into, her still trying to figure out, on Ellie's case, what really happened with the Fireflies, which then that was later revealed as to why they weren't talking to each other, throughout the time of being, in the town that they were in. Abby's character, it was one of those, when I first saw it, it was just like, wow, it was a big mind screw, because literally, you're playing this character, and the very character that you're playing is the one that kills Joel. And then you hear Joel kind of get this over with. We already know what this is. And it was something I was saying, the more I started to play the game, it actually kind of broke down that biased, that black and white thought process. Because when you looked at it, and that's how Naughty Dog set it up originally, you basically were surrounded by that character. You were surrounded by, Joel and Ellie. So yeah, you grew up with them. You loved them. You appreciated them. Like, that was, against everything that they was going through. And yet, getting out of that black and white and looking at it from the gray aspect is that they're all survivors, from different groups and clans and stuff like that. It's just that one group may have a certain belief over another. Basically, they're all trying to survive, and at that moment when these groups clash, it's not like everybody could just sit down and be like, well, hold up, this is the situation, blah, 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 so let's leave this alone. In the first Last of Us, Ellie and Joel, on their way to survive, they were sitting here going through several different, camps, groups. Some of these groups just wanted to kill them and take their stuff. You had these groups that wanted to sit there and eat them, rape. And then, of course, you had the group of the Fireflies who they were basically, I guess, trying to work on the cure. But nonetheless, it wasn't without no kind of darkness behind that group. Because up until then, until they found out that Ellie was the cure or could have been a potential cure and antibody, they were no different than any of the groups that was out there. So basically, to bring back to the point of it was really a gray area. There was really no right or wrong. And even break down, like coming back with Abby and her situation, Abby lost her dad. Her dad died. Joel killed her dad in the hospital. That scene where in the first one you see this guy like kind of grab the scalpel and, run out and you shoot him, that was her. That was him. And that was her dad. So, her coming into the hospital, she was already there. She sees that her dad is dead. She knows who did it. It's like, it just kind of opens up a door to you. It's like, wow. On one hand, like with Joel, I'm happy that he got Ellie back. And this was like that karma wheel. It's like you do one thing, but then you open up another door. By saving Ellie, saving her life, you killed several others. Because you did, now you've actually made Abby upset. So now Abby's on a revenge or on a war path. Like, I will not rest until I find the murderer of my father. And so after, you transition mostly throughout the game with Ellie, she bumps into Dina. Dina helps, which I like about it. She actually runs into some of the characters who have actually sat there, and was participating in Joel's death. And when you with her, it's like, oh, damn, yeah, get him. Even, what was it, Nora? She was chasing her down here, like, all the way down to the ground floor amongst the infected. She didn't have no mask. She's on borrowed time, but Ellie, she don't give a damn. She goes down there, takes business and gets rid of her. And it's that moment where you're like, yeah, get them, make them pay. But then, like, they do it. They had a way of they swapped it over. And you see Abby, even like her first introduction to her side of the story. And she's just, just getting up like it's a normal day, or at least what would be even somewhat of a halfway good day for them. And half those people that was in that room was like really cool. Like, even Manny, everybody hated Manny so much. But then it was like, you see it on Abby's side. It's like, Manny was just a cool, decent dude. He was just, his friend, was trying to get revenge. So he wanted to help. And you see how they were all getting along, how nice they were. It was like, wow, these ain't just a bunch of, like just people just savage and mean, like they're just killing left and right. They do, but then it's like they have a certain peace or camaraderie about them. And it just goes to show it's like there's good and bad in every situation. There's good and bad in every, camp or group. And it's never always, like, well, the good against the bad. It's us against, you know what I'm saying? So it really did something to me while I was playing that. And to even see the fight that later on occurred between Ellie and Abby the first time. And you can see it, though. I say this about Paya. Abby definitely has more of a... She's held that grudge for a long time. So it's like for her, you even seen moments where, like, this is the part where she could have killed Dina. And she was going to kill Dina. She was going to shoot at Ellie right then and there. If it wasn't for Tommy intervening, that would have been the end. Ellie's revenge, that just happened over a few months. So it was like for her, it was still a process. She was still processing it. And if you actually remember watching her throughout her kills, you could see where she was struggling. She even got sick when she killed Mel. And she saw that she was pregnant. She was, on the floor kind of vomiting, just even processing, like, damn, I actually did this. So it's like, on one hand, she was still mad, but it was like she was still trying to process everything. It was all new to her. So she hasn't had that length of time, whereas of Abby, on the other hand, like, she trained for this. Like, and I don't mean, like, just trained like a figure of speech. Man, she went in there, she was hitting the weights. She ain't missed a day, a weekend, a holiday, or nothing. Like, traps, all that stuff, pecs, like, she one hitter, like, just killed Joel. So in that first fight, she decimated Abby. But I like what they did. I had a gut feeling that at some point in time, the shift of the story was going to happen somewhere along the line. I thought that, they both was either going to try to ride out. Either they become friends or at least they reach a mutual understanding. And also I want to cover, too, that game, the length of the game, that game has some good length to it because literally there was many points in the game where I thought, maybe this was already going to be the end, or I was like, man, this game's going to be too short. But they did a really good job of keeping that game as long as it was. The different types of enemies that was in the game, how they attacked you, to the scares, the jump scares, to the character the development, even if they were short-lived or they were long-term, even like with Jessie, Yara, even though she got killed, when she was in that village, when they went back to the village to try to save Lev, you even started to like Lev. And later on in the game, you actually get to the point where after that fight, Abby leaves, but then she goes to Santa Barbara only to get captured by the Rattlers. So Ellie, after all that, she goes back home. She's with Dina. Dina has her baby. And, they're trying to live this nice, good life. But then Tommy shows up. But even before that, she was already kind of having little flashbacks. But Tommy shows up. He gives her the location where Abby could be in Santa Barbara. And she struggle backs again with it. It's like, she can't shake between either finding, just, accepting love and living her best life, or going out there and still pursuing her. And that's what, it even got me there, like, starting to think like, damn, is the revenge really that worth it? What did you really gain? What do you gain after all that? At the end of the day, it still doesn't change the fact that Joel is gone. It might make you feel better for a moment, but it's like, did you really accomplish anything? And so, sadly, no matter how much Dina tried to convince her to stay, she still went. And she did find her, and it was crazy even seeing the transformation of Abby. She was a swole, man, she was just a force to be reckoned with, to her just being, just strung out, scrawny. She was obviously exposed to the sun because they had her hanging out on the beach, her and Lev. And so Ellie cuts her down. You could feel the tension between them. She's shocked to even see that of all people that rescued Abby this time, because Abby got captured when she went to Santa Barbara. She thought that she was going to find fireflies or she'll just be able to join her and Lev, only to get captured. It was a trap. It's a trap. So she basically ties her down. They all go to the end of the beach where there's two boats. But Ellie just makes it at that point where they're like, nah, we got to finish this. And at first, Abby don't want it. And, it could be for many reasons. Maybe she came to terms with it already throughout that time frame. Maybe her being captured got her to thinking. Or maybe she was just like, look, man, I ain't had a protein shake. I ain't had my creatine. Can you at least give me like 2 days so I can kind of, get back up and, let me get a sense of being a something so we can start this all over again. But Abby's like, no, let's finish it. And it was like the entire time playing even that fight scene, it was like, I immediately was like, y'all shouldn't be doing this. Y'all need to stop. Like, there's really no point in any of this. Ellie's hurt at this point. She got punctured in her side from the tree, to, Abby being, dehydrated, tortured, everything. Like, you both lost so much, Ellie sacrificed her love for Dina just to do this. So they fight. And Ellie's about to kill Abby, but then that's when she has the last flashback with Joel, which I liked that they did that too, was that they did give closure. So it wasn't like, yeah, she was still upset at Joel to some degree, but at least they had that chance to have that closure. And that closure, she expressed, like, how could you do this to me? I was going to be something important for everybody, sacrificing myself. It wasn't your call to make. And despite everything that what it brought to what it would do, Joel was like, if God gave me a chance, I'd do it again the exact same way. As if to say, I'd do it all again just to have you here. And I think that was at one point, it was two different turning points that a lot of people didn't pay attention to. This was a redemption for Joel, because if you remember in the first one, he had his daughter when they first initially, the outbreak started. him, the daughter, and Tommy. The daughter died. She was killed when he ran across one of the soldiers, and he was asking for help, and he was given the order. Basically, the soldier was given the order to basically kill anybody on sight. So he fires, and the daughter was hit. She dies right there on the spot. For several years until meeting Ellie, he was numb, and there was a lot of things that Joel did, which comes back to that whole of it not being black and white. It's really gray. You know, everybody's done their dirt, but he was just really numb. You know, it was like he was, just existing. And then, he comes across Ellie. He didn't really want to deal with it. And I think a part of that was because of what he had experienced, that trauma of losing his daughter. He didn't want to have, someone's blood on his hands. He loses his girlfriend throughout the process of trying to escort Ellie to the fireflies. And then, of course, later on, it gets closer to the time of meeting the fireflies, and he starts to bond with Ellie. He already bonded with her, but, the films have become that much more. You could tell, like, oh, this is about to be it. So, he gets the message that basically she's going to die. They're telling her, like, well, she's not going to survive the process. And it was like something just in him just was like, I got to go save her. It was even kind of cold, too, because, like, even that firefly, I forgot her name, but she was the leader of the fireflies at one point in time. At first, I thought she was just all on it, like, as if, no, kill Ellie. But then it even opened up her side, too. She was against the procedure at first, but she ended up choosing, for, I guess, the greater good, to go ahead and make that sacrifice, because that was what Abby's father recommended as far as for the sake of actually creating a cure. And so it allowed that closure to see that, what Joel been through and what it took him to get there. For Ellie, she lost, she joined the Fireflies for different reasons, but there was never no thing about her knowing that she was immune to a bite. She was just, she was just in a group. And, she had a girlfriend. Her girlfriend, got killed or got bit. They both thought they were going to die. But then it only turned out that her girlfriend turned. It wasn't her. So at that point, she, too, was going through a time of, she didn't feel like her life really had a lot of meaning. She just wanted to do something. She felt like she was already hurt that she lost everything. So for her, it was like, at least let me get this one piece, or let me enjoy it. Let me enjoy that death, but then at the same time, let me help people out. So it was a development growth for both of them, and for them to square that off on the last segment of it, it helped. It made a huge growth for both of them, even up till, unfortunately, Joel died, but at least it was that closure that was there. And it was still a bittersweet pill, at the end of the day for Ellie, because she let Abby go, which was a good thing, and I'm glad she did. And yeah, she still had to walk away, and she still lost something. But I think she still gained at the same time, because at the end of the day, she was able to gain that peace and that closure. Plus, she was finally able to kick Abby's ass at this point. I know that's probably what it was really like. I wanted to, like, get your ass out the car, Craig. This is a rematch. She wanted to get that rematch in. But on a serious note, she was able to get that closure and let her go. Now, the only thing at the end, when Ellie goes back, Dina's not there. So more than likely, Dina went back to the hometown. Maybe Ellie's going to go look for her. And it even opens up a curious question, because even the Sony mentioned with the PS5 and the future of Naughty Dogs, what will be with The Last of Us. But they did say, or anything as far as with Naughty Dogs in general, but there will be stuff for PS5. What that actually means, we don't know. Could there be another Last of Us? Could it just be a remaster? Nobody knows. But I'll tell you one thing, guys, on my note, and I hope at some point in time maybe the creators hear this, or just anybody, if you feel like you were alone in it, just know that you weren't. I thoroughly enjoyed The Last of Us 2. It was definitely some tearjerker moments for me. I really enjoyed it. I didn't just enjoy it from Ellie's side. I enjoyed it from Abby's side. And the more that I got to know those characters, it made it that much more harder. The first fight didn't faze me as much, but the second fight did. The second fight that I was going to have, it's like, this really needs to stop. You've both been through so much. And to see them, go through that, I was like, come on, guys. Why don't y'all just both go home and just live and let live? So they did a good job. I like that they did what they did with the twist of letting you play as a different character. I think that was, well, not I think, it shows it. That was their aim. That was their aim, was to get you to see it from different perspectives. Not just an imaginary, but like literally see it through each individual's eyes as of what happened, why it happened, what led them to go on. Was Joel justified to kill everybody in there? No, but at the same time, it's like I knew he did what he had to do when he wanted to save Ellie. Of course, though, with that came the price of now you have the daughter that was angry. Her dad's dead. So she wanted to make somebody pay. Just like in the same retrospect, Ellie's dad is dead. She wants to make Abby pay. So it's that, blood begets blood. Revenge is never a good thing. And you just see it. And you see even the loss. They didn't really show anything as far as they showed Ellie's ending, but they didn't show Abby's. Did she survive after that fight with Ellie? What is her life going to be like from that point on? Because she really lost everything. She has no friends. She has no place to go to. The wolves are gone. All she has is Lev. And, and being in that zombie, that apocalyptic world, you're always on borrowed time. You never know when your day is coming. I think that's why it didn't bother me when Joel died. It was just one of those, it was just a matter of time. Because he already had made enemies, and I'm pretty sure everybody in that entire world makes their own set of enemies from whatever they've done. So it was coming. The reckoning, or what was coming, it was going to happen. But to everybody, once again, full disclosure, this is just strictly my opinion, my outtake on the game. You may or may not always agree with what I say. But to everybody, guys, I hope you can still enjoy this. Take your time and enjoy this podcast segment, and at least have to hear a piece of what I'm saying. If you like this podcast and others, guys, please don't forget to hit that follow. Don't forget to check out your boy on YouTube and Twitch. I stream Monday through Friday on YouTube at 6 p.m. Eastern Time and on 8 p.m. on Twitch Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. Since I finished The Last of Us, I will be bringing that back now onto YouTube, despite what everybody had voted at the time with the uploads. I know a lot of people like uploads, but I also seen where people had actually loved my live streams better. The interaction is much better. So yes, please look forward to that. I might even do it today. You never know. So definitely make sure you check that out. Show your boys some love. And to everybody, guys, peace until the next podcast. For any updates and further, you can also follow me on IG and Twitter at HeemsCast Gaming, all together. To everybody, this is your boy for another podcast, signing off. Peace.